we graphed square roots in here? Square root functions? We haven't. So if we don't know how to graph something, what do?
You gotta learn.
How would we start?
Oh, you can do it like that. Never mind. Oh, what? So, intercept
We're
point.
going to make a, start with a T.
Triangle. Educated guys. Wait, what?
Let's start with a T. That's
Theory.
what I'm looking for. We're going to make a table. So we're going to make a table. We're just going to start plugging in some numbers to get the shape. So, what's a number that I might want to put in for x?
0.
So I like 1, and I'll tell you why I like 1, or I will. Does anybody want to say why I like 1?
It's a whole number. It's easy.
You can take. Can you take the square root of 1?
Sure.
Yeah, equals 1. So I can do it without using my calculator. So I want to pick numbers that I can find the square root of without using my calculator. So that's 1. What's another number?
9.
4. Good. 4 square root of 4 is 2. What's another number?
9.
9. Pick something smaller than 1.
-4.
0. Square root of 0 is 0. Can I take the square root of -4? I
No.
put I, and I don't have a graph for I. Okay, all I have is a coordinate graph, just a regular coordinate graph for x's and y's.
About 81.
So we can't fit it on there. So we have enough points. This is good. But you're right, 81 would work. That's a good number to choose because we can take the square root of it. So we're going to plot these points, 0, 0, 1, 1, 4, 2, and 9, 3. So my shape, if you look at it sideways, it looks like half of what?
A U.
Half of a parabola. That is because squares and square roots are inverses of each other. Okay? So my end point, where do you think my end point would be here? So that arrow means it goes on forever over there. That's not an end point. So 0, 0 is my end point. Okay? Helping point can be any other point on there. So since I have a bunch of other points, I'm just going to pick the point 4, 2. You don't have to pick that one. You can pick any other point. So domain. What would the domain use?
Domain would be
Hold on,
0.
hold on. Okay, thank you. Perfect. What would the domain be, Aiden?
It would be 0. Wait, I don't know how to, I forgot if it was like 0. Oh, we don't have to put it in like the form. We just put it in.
So I'm going to put it in interval notation.
Oh, so 0 and infinity.
Yeah, and then do we include 0?
Huh?
Is 0 a bracket or parentheses?
It's a bracket.
Just a bracket. And then range would be 0, bracket 0, and then infinity.
Good. So my domain starting here, my x value at this point is 0, and I go to the right, 0 to infinity. My range, I'm going up and down, starts at 0, and even though this is going this direction, it's still going up, so it's going up to infinity. Questions on that? Okay, so now we're going to use what we did on the warm-up to find that vertex, to find our end point. Because see on this one here, see there's nothing inside that square root. Your square root is like your parentheses. So that's where you're going to find your x value. Since there's nothing there, the x value is 0. Nothing outside, the y value is 0. So it's 0, 0 here. Do we have anything else inside the square root besides the x?
-4.
Do we have anything else inside the square root besides an x?
No.
No. So what's my x value of my vertex? Y equals x squared minus 4. What's my vertex?
-4.
What's my x value? Of your vertex, what's the x value?
Zero.
Zero. Because I don't have anything inside the parentheses there, it's 0, negative 4. I don't have anything inside that square root besides the x. So it is 0. What is the y value? Negative 4. Whatever is outside there, that's your y value. Just like when we were doing our vertex. Questions on that? Does that make sense back there? Yeah. Okay, so we want a helping point. So I want to pick a number that is going to be a number I can do in my head rather than on the calculator. So what's a number we could take the square root of? You could do 1. Let's pick something a little bigger. That's okay. 4. Let's pick a 4. 1's not wrong, but so we're going to pick a 4. What's the square root of 4? 2. So we have 2 minus 4, which is negative 2. So 4, negative 2 is my helping point. Any questions on that? Okay. So I'm going to graph those points. 4, negative 2. My graph, is it a straight line or is it a curve from what we did here? It's a curve. It's like half of a parabola. So I'm going to draw a curve. I'm not going to draw a straight line. And my graph looks something like that. Okay? So, domain. This group here, what's my domain? So domain, you're looking at your x value here. So the x value is going from here over. What's the x value on this one? Is that the y value or the x value?
What?
Is the negative 4 the x value or the y value? The y. We want the x value. 0. So we go from 0 to what? To infinity. And then my range on this one, this group.
Oh, wait, no. Wait, us? Oh.
Yeah, negative 4 to infinity. So it's here's the bottom point and it goes up. Negative 4, comma, infinity. Questions on that? So it's always going to be half of a parabola. Yes. The square root. Yep. Okay, moving on to number 3. Anybody still looking at that? Ready to go? Yes, you said. Thought you may go. Okay, what's my vertex on number 3? This group back here. What's my vertex? Your group. Yep. Your endpoint. Sorry. So remember, you look inside that square root, and you want to do the opposite of what's in there.
Negative 2, 0.
So negative 2 and then 0 because it's nothing outside here. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay, good. So you guys are loud and I can hear you.
I'm sorry.
So negative 2, 0. Thank you, Will. So negative 2, 0. And then we want to find a helping point. This one's a little harder to find a helping point. So because we already have a +2, so I need to get a number in here that I can take the square root of. So for example, I want 4 to be my result. What would I add to 2 to get 4?
2.
2. So my x value is going to be a 2. And then I plug that 2 in there. 2 plus 2 is 4. Square root of 4, which is 2. So 2, 2 is my helping point. So when you go to do yours, you may have a different helping point than what I have listed. That's okay. Just so your graph looks the same. Okay? So it's not a straight line. Again, it's curved. So domain. What's my domain? That's negative 2 to infinity. And And then the same group, what's my range? Say it. Pretty good. The rest of your group understand that? Questions on that? Anybody in the group? Okay, so last one. Back here, what's my vertex? On number 4. It is 4-1. Questions on how we got 4-1? Because if you can't do that, you're not going to be able to do it.
Just, you always switch that.
You do. And so inside that square root, you always take the opposite of that. So now my helping point, again, this one's a little harder, a little more problematic. Say I want to get a result of 4. What would I put in there if for my x to get 4? No, just for those the x minus 4. I just want to get 4 from x minus 4. Yes. No, so I'm looking at what's inside here. You're going.
-4. What do you mean plus 4?
So what minus 4? Question mark? Minus 4. 8. Yes. 8. And that would be 8. So that one's a little harder.
Why is it?
So I need this number in here to be something I can take the square root of. So I made 4 my goal. So if I take 8 minus 4, then that gives me 4.
4 for every time.
You don't have to use 4 every time. You could have gotten it. You can, yeah. So now I need to plug that 8 in there. So now I'm going to get y equals the square root of 8 minus 4 plus 1. So simplifying inside that square root, 8 minus 4 gives us 4. So we have the square root of 4 plus 1. Back here in this group again, what do I get?
3.
Yeah, 2 plus 1 are 3. So 8, 3. Questions on that? Everyone should be doing this today, so please ask me if you have questions, or somebody else in your group. So 4-1, 8-3. This is my starting point, my end point, and then let me draw it a little bit better. And then there's my graph. So again, it's half of a parabola. So back here, what's my domain? Yes. 4 to, so the x value here on the x-axis, we start at 4. So it's 4 bracket, comma, infinity. Does that make sense? Same group, what's my range? 1 to infinity. So my y value on this point here is a 1. So it goes 1 up. That's my lowest point. That's why I'm choosing that end point. Okay. Okay, I'm going to go around and check one from the homework, so we'll stop there.